Okay, we are live. Thank you, those of you that are here, for coming and joining me for this little Q&A session for ScoutIQ Trial users. I made the mistake of not sending out this email 24 hours in advance like I normally do. So it probably will be a smaller audience today. That was my bad. I sent it out about an hour and a half ago. So it'll probably be a smaller audience, but I'll get to answer and some more of your questions, do a little more one-on-one, since it'll probably be a smaller group. I apologize if I'm sniffling a little bit. A crazy windy today and something's made my allergies go crazy. So I'm not crying, even if it looks like I am. But sorry if I am sniffling a little bit. But please drop your name in the comments if you're watching this, your name, and then how long you've been selling on Amazon. If you've just started, just put brand new. I'd love to see who's watching. Don't be shy. Throw your name in the chat and say how long you've been selling on Amazon. And also, as you're doing that, if you have questions that come to mind, please throw them in the comments right there, and I will try and go through and answer every one of those. I'll probably be on here for about 30 minutes, so feel free to ask as many questions as you want. If I don't know the answer, I will figure it out for you, and I will get back in touch with you with an answer. Ken is here. Ken says he's brand new. Awesome. Thank you for using ScoutIQ. It's a great way to start a side hustle or even a full-time business selling books using ScoutIQ. So it's always great to see new people getting into it and testing the water. So thanks for being here, Ken. If you have any questions, Ken, please throw those in the comments there and I can get to answering those. So really quickly, background on me, not too much detail here, but I came out to Colorado to go to school. I went to Colorado Christian University over in Lakewood, Colorado, and met my wife there. We loved Colorado so much, we decided to stay. I'm from Utah, she's from Arizona, but now we live in the Denver area, which is where I met Caleb Roth, my business partner who started ScoutIQ. And so Caleb and I have an office here in the Denver metro area. That's where we work now. That's where I actually am at right now. Caleb's out for the day though. But so we have an office here. We do ScoutIQ together. We also do eFlip together and run the Book Flipper blog. Caleb's been selling on Amazon for a long time. He's the one that opened my eyes to the idea that you could sell used books on Amazon. I come from a marketing background. He loves the product development, the numbers side of things. So it was a good partnership to get together, and I can handle all the marketing for the business, the front side of things, and he likes to do the data, the numbers, getting into the weeds, product development, and he's the one that's been selling on Amazon for a really long time. But I've been able to learn a little bit in the time that I've been here. I've been selling on Amazon maybe 3 years now. So I do have some time under my belt. I have done selling, and also last year I did something called the 100 Book Challenge, which you might be familiar with if you signed up for ScoutIQ, because you should have gotten an email telling you about the 100 Book Challenge. But basically for 12 weeks, I went out and tried to source 100 books every single week and list those for sale on Amazon. I walked everyone through it every single week, what my numbers were, how much I listed, how much profit I was making. That way people can follow along. They can set their own goal, whether it be 50 books a week or 100 books a week. Setting a goal of what you want to accomplish each week is a great way to get started, even if you're doing it part-time. So I did this 12-week challenge, recorded all the videos, and now we have it posted as the 100 Book Challenge. You can check it out at the100bookchallenge.com if you're interested in that. It's a great way to get started and set a 12-week goal and kind of chase that certain number you've set for yourself every single week to start selling on Amazon. So that's a little bit about my background. If you guys have questions, please throw them in there. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll cover a quick few things that often come up with new users of ScoutIQ. So if you are experiencing any of these, hopefully this will answer some of your questions right away. The first and biggest one is people download the app and they scan something and it says no results found. If your app is doing that, you scan something and it says no results found, it's trying to look it up on Amazon, but it can't because you probably haven't connected your Amazon account yet. If that's happening to you, go ahead and log into your online portal. You can get there by going to app.scoutiq.co. You can click on account and then click on Amazon settings, and there'll be a little 3-step process there for connecting your Amazon account to ScoutIQ. That way we can send the information to Amazon and they can send us back the information you're looking for, so you'll stop getting those no results found messages. So set up and connect your account to Amazon if you haven't already. That will solve a lot of the problems people have when they very first start using ScoutIQ. So Iris says, can ScoutIQ live mode scan any item? I'd like to not have to carry multiple apps. The Amazon Seller app is clunky. Yes, ScoutIQ can scan anything with a barcode in live mode. So our database is just for books. The database you can download to the phone. You can set it to either Data Plus Live or database only, and you can scan books. And we have databases up to something like 23, 24 million titles. So you can have a lot of information in your phone. The majority of books you scan will bring up results, and you won't have to use your internet. On live, it's going to be pulling that information straight from Amazon. So it's the most up-to-date information, but you have to have an internet or a data connection to get that. But when you are in live mode, anything with a barcode that is being sold on Amazon will pull up the information. So you can scan anything from grocery items to toys to board games to anything that has a barcode on it. And you can do that instead of the Amazon Seller app if you want to stick to one app and just use ScoutIQ. Also, even though we don't have a database for things other than books at the moment, you can set up triggers for other items. So if you go onto your online portal at app.scoutiq.co, you can click on the triggers tab at the top. You can click create new triggers, and you can make triggers for not just books, but you can do CDs and DVDs. You can do, what other ones we have in there? We have a couple of them on there now. CDs, DVDs. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. But either way, you can make triggers for other categories. So if you're not just looking for books, you can click other categories, create triggers for those. So you can use those while you're out scanning if you like to sell other items on Amazon. Let me double check here. Yeah, so books, VHS, music, video games are all we have for triggers on there. And you can set up individual ones for each of those categories. So you can get accept and reject if you scan music, for instance, instead of just looking at book triggers. SOSA 300 says, most asked question, are books still worth it to sell? I keep hearing about Amazon fees. How do you minimize fees? So great question. Books very much are still a good thing to sell. Amazon sells a crazy number of books. So sales rank on Amazon, if you're not familiar with how it works, if a book is sold on Amazon, Amazon normally, if it sells, let's say one copy in a day, Amazon will drop that sales rank to roughly 100,000, meaning 100,000 books are being sold every couple hours on Amazon or a day. Every couple hours or a day, 100,000 books. So a lot of books are being sold. It drops that rank to 100,000. If that book doesn't sell, the rank continues to climb. Once it hits about 5 days out, the rank will be back up to 1 million, and it'll keep climbing from there until that book sells again, and the rank is going to drop back down. If it drops down below 100,000, it's sold multiple copies in a day, and so you can kind of judge how frequently a book is selling with rank. And then someone asked about eScore right here, which I'll get into right now because eScore is very much related to this. So eScore is calculated taking the last 180 days and trying to see how many sales have happened. It's not how many individual books have sold, but how many days there have been at least one sale. So for an eScore of 180, that means there's been 180 days in the past 180 days that at least one sale has taken place. eScore, if you notice in the app, only goes up to 151 plus is what we call it, meaning it's basically selling every single day. So an eScore of 12, for example, would mean it's sold roughly 2 copies each month for the past 6 months. eScore of 6, 1 copy each month for the past 6 months, etc. So that's how eScore works. And the reason eScore is so powerful as compared to just looking at rank is rank can be very deceiving. As I said, rank will keep climbing until a book sells, and then it'll drop to around 100,000, then it keeps climbing again. So you have the chance that when you go out and scout, you might scan a book and see, hey, it's ranked 100,000. That means it probably just sold, so maybe I should buy this book. It looks like a good book to buy. What you can't see, though, is that maybe the rank was about 5 million before, the day before, and you happen to scan it on the day it sold a copy. So now it looks like the rank's 100,000. So you buy that book, you're all excited to sell it, you go home to list it, and you realize the book has sold 1 copy maybe in the past year. You were just deceived by rank because you saw the good rank and thought the book was a good buy. eScore helps because on eScore, you'd be able to scan the same book, rank would show 100,000, but you would see an eScore of 1, meaning in the past 180 days, only 1 copy of that book is sold, or 1 day has recorded a sale of that book. So that will prevent you from buying some books you shouldn't buy, and eScore is a much better metric to go off of rather than just relying on rank. But finishing up the question about if books are worth it to sell, I keep hearing about the Amazon fees. If you sell Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, you put all your books in one box, you send them off to Amazon, Amazon stores them in their warehouse. When they sell, Amazon takes care of it. They send it to the customer, handle customer service, all that stuff. That's fulfillment by Amazon FBA. There are going to be more fees with that. And a lot of people get nervous about those fees, except Amazon provides a lot of service to you for those fees. You can scan all the books, you can send them all off to Amazon, then you don't have to worry about it after that. Amazon is going to take care of finding the customers, they're going to take care of selling the book, they're going to take care of shipping the book. So you can send off 1,000 books to Amazon, you can be in vacation in Mexico, and you can be selling books every single day, not having to worry about it. The fees are going to be more with Amazon FBA, but also you get all the luxury of being able to send it to Amazon and have them take care of it for you after that. So as long as you can still make money on the books you're buying, I wouldn't worry too much about the Amazon fees because, A, if you do Amazon Prime, there's more of an audience for that normally. You're going to be able to request a higher price for those books, and then you don't have to worry about it. So those fees are very worth it so long as you can still make money on the books you're selling. There is another way you can sell books on Amazon, MF, which is merchant fulfilled. When you do MF, there's going to be a lot lower fees because Amazon's not touching the book, except you have to do all the fulfillment of that book. So you're going to have to ship that book to the customer when it sells in a timely manner. And so with merchant fulfilled, if you go off to travel for a little while, you go vacation in Mexico, you're going to have to put your store on vacation mode unless you have employees or someone that can ship those books out for you because you're doing all the work yourself. So it's lower fees with merchant fulfilled, but you can't request that kind of higher prime price that you will be able to if you sell FBA, and you're going to fulfill every single book individually. So I wouldn't let the fees discourage you from doing this. And we'll talk about how ScoutIQ can help you find the books that are still profitable even with FBA. So Ken says, can you add triggers for DVDs in trial version? Yes, you can. Trial version has everything the normal version has. You'll just want to go to the online portal. Again, that's app.scoutiq.co. Click on triggers at the top. You can click add new trigger, and then you'll see the little tabs underneath there where you see books, DVDs, VHS, music, video games, etc. And you can make those triggers however you would like them. Kevin says, I do have my Amazon account linked, but I continue to get a lot of no results found. Any other thing I can do? Love it for books, by the way, but also like to not pay for other apps. Yeah, great. So if you're still receiving no results found, there's a few things you can look at. First, just double check, go to your Amazon account or your ScoutIQ portal, go to the Amazon settings page and make sure when you save those credentials, it gives you the success message. If you accidentally miss a character when you copy and paste it over, or they're pasted in the wrong spot, you're going to get an error message. So make sure you save them and you get that success message on Amazon or on ScoutIQ portal that the accurate credentials are in there. Now what you can do to make sure it actually is linked is you can go into your app, set it to live only within the app settings, and then go scan a book. If you get the results back when you scan that book, and in the bottom left-hand corner, you see the actual image of the cover of the book, you know it requested that information live on Amazon. If you're looking at the ScoutIQ database, you're not going to see a cover of the book in the bottom left-hand corner. It's going to be blank because we don't include the images in database because it takes up way too much space and it's not worth it just for the cover of the book. So if you get results back and there's no cover of the book in the bottom left-hand corner, that's a database result. If you do get a cover, you know you've connected successfully to Amazon, and it'll show the cover there. And there should be very little things that say no results found. Because Amazon sells almost everything. So even if you're not scanning something book related, you still should be getting results for that item. So double check those two things to stop getting the no results found issue. If you're just using database and you're not using live, there are some books that aren't in our database. So you may still get that result if you scan a book that's not yet in the database. But we have a very large number of books in the database. So most of those will bring up results for you. Is eScore based on 6 months on ScoutIQ screen, bling how many times sold? So yeah, like I said, eScore is based on the past 6 months, and it's not how many times the book is sold, but how many days there's been at least one sale. So Amazon doesn't give us the information to tell us if a book is sold just one copy that day or 40 copies that day. All we know is that that specific day there was at least one sale, which is why eScore increments by one each day. So like I said, 180 days, which is the past 6 months. eScore of 180 means every single day there's been at least one sale. eScore of 90 means that every other day there's been at least one sale in the past 6 months. So you guys can see eScore and you can tell how frequently a book is selling. Not how many copies, but how frequently a book is selling by looking at that. Kevin said, got it, thanks, that worked. Will eScore come up for non-book items? No, eScore is just for book items right now. We are building out some databases for other things, such as CDs, the music categories, things like that. And when we push those out, those will have eScore, but right now eScore is specific to books. You can scan anything with the ScoutIQ app and you'll get the results on the page, but eScore won't be there unless it is a book. One thing to point out real fast with eScore that people often ask questions about, if you scan something and eScore says 0, that means in the past 180 days, there's been no days with sales. That will be an eScore of 0. If you see eScore and it shows a dash dash, that means eScore is not being recorded yet for that specific item. So it means we haven't put an eScore on that. So it doesn't mean it hasn't sold any. That just means we don't have eScore yet on that specific book. We're always crowdsourcing data. So as you scan books that don't give you eScore, we're collecting that ISBN and we're tracking that for 6 months. We'll have eScore for that book in the future. So remember, dash dash just means we don't have eScore for that book. An eScore of 0, on the other hand, means that book has not had any sales in the past 6 months. Yeah, if you guys have other questions, please leave them in there. A couple things I can point out to you guys real fast. Let me share my screen with you, actually. Give me one moment to pull that up. Share an application here, share, and then let's go to presentation mode. So I'm going to double check this works. Let me see over here. The video is a little bit delayed on the right side over here, but hopefully you should be seeing, yes, perfect. This big screen with the Facebook icon. So if you guys are new to ScoutIQ, hopefully you saw this in one of your intro emails, but if you're not yet a part of our Facebook group, please join there. The Facebook group is one of the best ways to find quick answers to your questions. You can search in there and almost every question you can imagine has probably been asked before. And if you do leave a question there, we have almost 10,000 users in that group, or 10,000 members of that group. So if you leave a question in there, within a couple minutes, normally you'll get a few responses to it. So if you run into issues when you're first getting started, which will probably be questions you have, whether it be listing things or finding books, leave them in that Facebook group. And you can probably get answers to them very quickly there, or search for past answers. You can join by going to bit.ly, so bit.ly, the link right there, /BF group, that's Book Flipper group, but BF group, all lowercase, and you can join that Facebook community there. That is a great way to find out more about selling on Amazon and get started there. Here's the domain for the 100 book challenge. So if you type in that, you can join the 100 book challenge and see my results for those 12 weeks. You can watch each update video as I kind of walked through how I went out and tried to find 100 books each week. And then lastly, with the link right here, if you've ever been interested in online arbitrage, if you've been selling on Amazon for a little while, you've been going out, maybe you've been sourcing books and you're new to ScoutIQ specifically, I recommend checking out this eFlip challenge. This eFlip challenge is for eFlip, the online software that we have that allows you to buy from Amazon and sell back to Amazon. If you're brand new to selling books, I don't recommend doing this quite yet. Get some time under your belt first, maybe do the 100 book challenge first. But this eFlip challenge will be starting July 1st. It'll be 14 days long, and I'll be teaching people how to start with online arbitrage if that's interest to you in the past. And then finally, link right here, if you want some more information on selling on Amazon, we do have a little course we've created specifically for beginners. Everything from how to find books, where to go to find them, what sections to look at, how to list those books, all that stuff. We have at Book Flipper University. You can go to bookflipperuniversity.com to see that. And if you use coupon code ScoutIQ50, all uppercase, you can get that course for half off. That's also, we have money back guarantee for that one. So if you use it, it's not quite what you're looking for, just let us know. We'd be happy to refund you the money for that. It's not something, of course, that's required. You can get a lot of information just by searching on YouTube, reaching out to us for support, or going to the Facebook group. But if you want everything laid out in an easy to read week by week format with videos, that's a good way to get started if that's something you are interested in. So let me get to some of these questions. How often do you recommend downloading / uploading the database? So we update the database every single day. I recommend that if you're going to go out and source, you just update the database for that day. So don't worry about updating it, of course, if you're not going to go out and scout that day. But whenever you go out and source, just hit update. We update it, like I said, once a day. Now, it's not a big deal either way. Some people are very particular about getting the most up-to-date data, which it's good to have, but you always have to take into account that when you buy a book, you've got to bring it back to your house, list it, send it to Amazon, and it probably won't be live on Amazon for about a week and a half. So the data is already going to be a week old by the time it goes to Amazon anyways. So it is good to have new information, new data. You can download it once a day, but also if you're a couple days behind, it's not a huge deal. You can still go out and find books. Kevin says, I do have Keepa, but I don't remember linking it to ScoutIQ. But I noticed there's a small Keepa chart with the green lines, something you would normally pay for. Can I cancel my Keepa subscription? So we're not directly affiliated with Keepa. We have the Keepa charts displayed in the app. Now, like you said, Keepa's premium subscription allows you to see the history of the sales rank. So if you are seeing those green lines, it means you're logged into Keepa within ScoutIQ and they've remembered you. So you can just go to Keepa's website, wherever they have your subscription or your at least you paid a membership fee to them, so you can go there to cancel that if that's not something you're wanting anymore. Another question, how do you sign up for Keepa? Is that included in Accelerlist? When you sign up, I cannot find an option to subscribe or if I need to pay. So yeah, Keepa chart is displayed, like I said, in ScoutIQ. Accelerlist also has the Keepa chart displayed on there. If you want to see rank, that's a premium option as of a month ago or 2 months ago. Keepa used to include that for free. Now it's a premium option. I think they charge $17 a month to see that, the history of sales rank. So you can log in for Keepa if you pay for the subscription, and then you can see the sales rank on the one displayed on ScoutIQ and Accelerlist. Or if you don't, you'll just see the history of I think the lowest used price, buy box, a few other metrics and stuff like that you can see the history of if you're not paying. But if you are paying, it will work for Accelerlist and it'll work for ScoutIQ to see the history of sales rank. Can I do it every day? I hear things don't change that much in a few days, but personally found with books, I get to scan. That isn't so for me, so I do it every day. Yeah, so books definitely do change every single day. Books fluctuate all the time. That's why we update the database every single day for you guys to be able to download. But you have to take into account, like I said, if it's going to take you a week and a half to get to Amazon, the numbers are going to change a little bit, regardless of whether the data is a day old or 2 days old or the most current data. By the time it actually gets to be able to be sold on Amazon, there's going to be some changes that take place either way. So I always update my database once a day before I go out and scout, of course. I don't do it if I'm not going out. But that's an easy way to do it, just in the morning, download it once. We normally update it early morning around 8 a.m. or so. So you can just kind of keep that in the back of your mind and update that daily if you prefer to. Ira says, I agree, update the database every day. I plan on sourcing. Yep, that's good. Would you recommend Keepa? So Keepa is really up to you. I like the Keepa extension. I use it myself. I really like it for doing online arbitrage, eFlip, like I was talking about. But occasionally, if I'm not sure about a book within ScoutIQ, I will pull up the Keepa and see the history of the sales rank, because I do have a subscription there that I have with Caleb. But it's not required. Like I said, we have eScore, which kind of takes care of the history of sales rank for you. Without eScore, then Keepa would be a bigger deal, because you'd need to see if that book's only sold once or if it's sold 50 times. eScore allows you to see through that. So when you look at eScore, you don't necessarily need to go to Keepa to see the history. You can see the history just by looking at eScore. So it's really up to personal preference. I believe Keepa is just month to month, so you're welcome to sign up for Keepa. We're not affiliated directly with them, like I said, but you can sign up for a month, see if you like it. I'm not sure if they have a free trial or not. And then you can open it up in ScoutIQ, click on the Keepa chart. You'll be able to log in there. And then when you go to ScoutIQ in the future, you'll be able to see the history of the sales rank. So that's really just up to personal preference. Kevin says, to be honest, with just books, I find the eScore more important than the Keepa chart. That's why I asked. But I guess I should hold my Keepa subscription for non-books. Yeah, we don't have eScore for non-books. We do have it for books. And yeah, like I said, it's really kind of a replacement for looking at that Keepa graph, because you're able to see the history of that book in a single number instead of trying to go through and count all the dips in the sales rank chart on Keepa's app. Exactly. Well said. Love the e-score. Yeah. So you guys have other questions? Yeah, throw them in there. Love those questions on Keepa. Yeah, thank you guys for all coming out here and watching, especially since I gave you last minute notice about this. If you're new to a trial user in ScoutIQ, your trial is 14 days long. I'm going to be doing these Q&As, sometimes with Caleb, sometimes without Caleb, every Thursday. I'm going to try and keep it really consistent Thursday at 11 a.m. So if you just started a trial, you'll have the opportunity to attend 2 of these. So if you weren't able to attend this one and you're watching this as a replay, feel free to join next Thursday or reach out through email. I'll give you a link for next Thursday's Q&A. Or if you have more questions that come up in the next week as you're using the app during your trial period, yeah, please come back next Thursday. Ask those questions. We'll be happy to answer those for you guys. So if there's not any other questions, we can wrap this up soon so you guys can get back to what you're doing. Hopefully you guys can go out and source a little bit today, find some books. Yeah, for those of you that are interested in the eFlip challenge, if you're new to eFlip, we are offering a special membership. You can get 3 months for $159. Normally that's around $237, I believe, for 3 months of eFlip. For this deal, it's going to be a big discount for 3 months. If you do the eFlip challenge, it'll be $159. So if that does interest you, check out the eFlip challenge. You can, of course, go through the 21-day trial with eFlip instead of doing the 3-month membership if you guys prefer to try it out. So that's always an option too. We're just putting this 3-month membership out there to let people take advantage of it that are planning on doing the challenge and get a pretty significant discount on it if they're interested in it already. So another question, I watched the update on 100 book challenge. And I wanted to ask, looking back, do you think you should have gone a different route sourcing versus cherry picking? No, not really. So our goal with the 100 book challenge was myself and John did it. If you've noticed in the update video, John did more of a bulk model. I did more of a cherry picking model, as you could say. And we did that purposefully so you can get the results. You guys can kind of see the results of doing a bulk model or doing just the cherry picking model. Because cherry picking is normally the easiest way to get started. Everyone has libraries or thrift stores of some nature around them. So it's a great way to get your foot in the door. Like I showed through the 12-week challenge, you're able to find 100 books. I live in the Denver metro area, so we have a lot of libraries and thrift stores. But throughout the challenge, I mainly only hit about 6, 7, 8 of them consistently every single week. So even though it's nice to have the option of a couple hundred places you could potentially go to source, you can do it with a lot fewer sources. So cherry picking is a great way to start. Of course, you can build relationships, do some more bulk model as you continue to grow your business. You don't have to stick with cherry picking. But if you are new, it is a great way to start and set a goal for how many books you're trying to find each week. Then go chase that goal, start there and build on from there. Try and build some relationships. Always when you go to thrift stores, ask the employees what the newest books are. Ask them for backroom access if they have more books in the back. Work on building those relationships so hopefully you can get a more consistent inflow of books than just going store to store cherry picking if you're trying to grow your business beyond what your capacity is just cherry picking. Great question. Please answer. So I watched, oh yeah, that's the update one. I have this book that has a low e-score, but it shows a buy because it's worth $199, buy cost of $2. Will I eventually advice to MF or FBA at some point? So if it shows a lower e-score, the way we have triggers set up for the default is that the lower the e-score, meaning the less the book is selling, the higher price you want to demand for that book. If you're going to buy a book for $2 and it's going to get you $3 profit, that's not a huge profit, right? You're still getting $2 in profit if you're spending $1 to buy the book. But if that book is selling really quickly, meaning it's selling a couple times a day, maybe a couple times every other day, you can buy that book, flip it really quickly, get that money back, then go reinvest it. On the other hand, if you're going to buy a book that has an e-score of 6, meaning it's selling once a month and it's only going to make you $3, it might not be worth it to spend that money since it's going to be tied up for a while, unless you can demand more money for it. So if you're going to spend $1, like you said, and maybe sell it for 30, 40, 50 or more, you're going to have more profit. So as the book slows down, require more profit because your money's going to be tied up for a little bit longer. So it is still worth it to buy books that are selling a little slower, but just know you're going to have to wait a little while for that book to sell. But hopefully you're going to be making more money from that book because it could be something like this where it's $199. One thing I would recommend to look for, that book might be worth it to buy regardless, but you can pull up Keepa and see what the average used price is. And if you have the Keepa subscription where you can see the drops in sales rank, you can see when it last sold, and you can kind of hover over the lowest used price, and you can see that when it last sold, maybe the lowest used price was $10, and then it spiked after that, meaning the book probably isn't worth $199 like it says. Someone just was optimistic in their pricing. Or you might see that the lowest used price was $150 last time it sold, and so that's a very realistic number you could shoot for if it shows $199. So it still may be worth it to buy either way. You just might not be able to get that $199 for that book, if that makes sense. Ask me if you want a little more clarification on that, so it's confusing. Thanks for answering these questions. Love this Q&A. Please keep it up. Can you hit 3 reasons to join the book selling course you guys offer? Thanks again. Yeah, so the book selling course, when we created it, there's a lot of free ways to learn how to source books. So that's the first thing I want to say. You can go to YouTube, you can search for things, you'll get thousands of results. There's a lot of good people out there, like Reezy Resells has a ton of things on selling books. My business partner, Caleb Roth, has the Book Flipper channel. He has a ton of information on selling books. You can even go through the free 100 book challenge, like I said, and I have a lot of information for how to sell books. So if you want free information, it's definitely out there. We created the course specifically for people that wanted a step-by-step guide. They didn't want to have 1,000 results. They wanted 10 things that addressed exactly what they wanted to know: how to source, how to list, how to sell, how to track. So if that more organized format fits you, you want that, you'd rather just pay a little bit of money and get that organized format, go through it step-by-step, rather than searching for everything on your own, then that's when the book course might be good for you. Like I said, definitely use that coupon code, get 50% off. And if it's not the information you're looking for, just feel free to ask us, and I'll be happy to send that money back your way if it's not what you were looking for. So feel free to try it out if you are interested, and then let me know how that goes for you. But like I said, the book course is mainly a way for beginners to start step by step, and it's all organized in one place for you. Kevin said, I've taken the course and it was amazing for beginners, but let me reiterate, for beginners. Yes, very much so. When we first launched this course, we kept having people comment and said, hey, this isn't very advanced, and it's not an advanced course. It's a course for beginners. So if you're advanced, you've been selling on Amazon for a long time, it's probably not the course for you. It's very basic information, such as where do I find books? What sections do I look at? How do I scan these books? What is a Bluetooth scanner? How do I connect it? Those type of things. So it's for beginners specifically. Kevin, I've taken that one. You'll need it if you want to find out your restricted on items using a third-party app tool. I think I might have missed a comment there. Let me see here. Oh, okay. What's your opinion on having a professional Amazon account before selling 40 items per month? So great question. Professional seller's account is $39 a month, I believe right now, $39 a month. And it comes with a few things that you don't get with an individual seller's account. So if you're not familiar with the way these work, an individual seller's account on Amazon is free, except you're going to be paying $1 per item you list or per item you sell. So for instance, if you sell 40 items a month, you're going to be paying $40 for the individual account. So might as well pay $39 membership fee and avoid paying $1 for every single item you sell. But one of the biggest advantages of a professional seller's account is that you can be buy box eligible. If you have an individual account, you can't get the buy box, meaning that the buy box that shows up on Amazon when you search for a book and you can hit buy it now, you won't be eligible to be a seller for that buy box. People are going to have to click through to used offers and select you specifically. You can still make sales without the buy box, but the buy box is very big in helping you get more sales. So having the buy box is a very big benefit if you plan on doing this and selling more books on Amazon or selling for a long period of time. You really want that buy box to increase your sales. So individual account, you're going to pay $1 for every item you sell, and you're not going to have the buy box eligibility. With the professional seller's account, you're not paying $1 for every item you sell, but you are paying $39 a month, and you can do the buy box. You can be eligible for the buy box. And in addition to that, you can connect to third-party software like Accelerlist and ScoutIQ. The individual seller's account will not be able to connect directly to ScoutIQ. You'll have to just use the database. If you want to look things up live on Amazon, you're going to have the professional account to be able to connect it. For some reason, that's just the way Amazon does it. But if you're selling under 40 items a week, to answer that question for under 40 items a month, You could go either way. If you're just doing this to test the waters out to see if you like it and you're not quite sure how many books you'll be sending in, you can use the individual seller's account and just know that sales might come a little slower when you don't have the buy box. And you can just use the database for ScoutIQ instead of trying to connect your Amazon account. So it can be a great way to start. But if you're ready to jump in, you can pay $39 for that month, connect it to ScoutIQ, hopefully make a few more sales once you become eligible for the buy box. And then down the road, if you're not selling enough, you can always downgrade your account back to an individual account if you're selling less than 40 items a month. So hopefully that answers your question. Give us a drop date for when you think for when you'll link with Accelerlist already. Would like a nice workflow of a buy list or ScoutIQ upload. So yeah, there's opportunity definitely to work for Accelerlist in the future. Right now, we're not building a direct integration with Accelerlist. We are working on a few things with ScoutIQ for the future as far as buy lists and things of that nature. We have people ask about that all the time. But Accelerlist, currently, you're not going to be able to see eScore on Accelerlist, and you won't be able to directly upload to Accelerlist. But the workflow is still pretty simple to use Accelerlist with ScoutIQ. But yes, we have heard a lot of people ask for a buy list, some way to track what you're scanning with ScoutIQ and be able to upload it either directly to Amazon or to Accelerlist or something like that. So it is something we're looking into, and it's definitely an option for the future. Thanks for all the input, everyone. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for asking these questions and also kind of answering each other's questions in here as well. Just trying to balance my overhead as I scale up. Yeah, definitely. When you're first starting out, you don't have to go out and buy everything. Some people, if they know they're just going to jump in head first, they'll go out, spend the $500, whatever it is, to buy the printer, to buy a Bluetooth scanner, to buy all the software. And you can do that, but you can also start out slower. You can start out with an individual account. You don't even have to start out with ScoutIQ. I think ScoutIQ will help you find a lot more profitable books quickly, but if you're really strict on your budget, you can make your first few sales just using the Amazon Seller app. It'll take a little longer to go through and scan things, but you can do it. Then once you start making some sales and you have some revenue coming in, you can slowly go and buy a Bluetooth scanner, buy ScoutIQ, Accelerlist, a printer to make things easier on yourself. So don't feel the need to jump in head first and do it all at once. But you can start slowly and kind of build your revenue up from there. To touch on this 40 items a month, I use ScoutIQ and they helped me in 1 week send in 130 books. Already 3 days in, I've had $60 in profit, worth it. Yeah, so with being able to connect ScoutIQ, you'll be able to find a lot more books. Being able to connect directly to Amazon allows you to see those live prices and connect to third-party softwares like Accelerlist. So if you're wanting to do a lot more, you're wanting to find a lot more books, it would be best to kind of go for that professional account and maybe try the trial of Accelerlist as well. So you can, like Kevin, list 130 books and then in 3 days in have $60 profit. That's awesome. Great work there. Yeah, great idea, Kevin. Yeah. So thank you guys for being here. I will shut it down so you guys can get back to what you're doing. Hopefully you guys can go out and find some books. Thanks for being here. I'll be here next Thursday again at 11 a.m. if you have more questions. If you have questions between them, please drop them in the Facebook group or just email support@scoutiq.co. We'd be happy to help you guys out. So thank you guys again for being here. I look forward to talking to you guys soon.